right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Word just came in that Canelo Alvarez vacated his regular super middleweight WBA belt. I'm gonna tell you why that is. So stay tuned in. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Hopefully everybody had a good turkey day. But yeah, Canelo won a regular WBA belt, and they called him a three division world champion. I say title holder, but the regular WBA isn't a real belt. Okay, it's not a real world champion belt. And Golovkin got credited with so many middleweight title defenses for holding the interim and the regular WBA belt, but it's not the real belt. You know, in the divisions in boxing, they have 4 titles, actual titles. Not a franchise title, I don't know what it is, but the WBC, the Super WBA, IBF, and the WBO world titles. Those are the only 4 titles that should be recognized as being the actual world champion slash title holder. So Canelo's regular WBA belt, he's not a 3-division champion. Now, him being Kovalev for the WBO would make him technically to them 4 divisions, actually 3. But it came a time where the WBO belt wasn't recognized as a major belt. It only became part of Undisputed in 06, 09. You only used to have to have the WBC, the Super WBA, and the IBF belt. First it was the WBA, then WBC, and then IBF came, and then WBO came years later. Okay, but you know they call Canelo what they want to call him. But the reason why he's vacating the belt is because he's going to be probably fighting Billy Joe Saunders next. And you cannot unify the regular WBA belt with the WBO belt. It's another reason why it's not a real world champion. You know, unless there's no Super WBA title holder, which there is, which is Callum Smith, where some people thought that he lost to John Ryder. Okay, I didn't see that fight, so I can't have an opinion on it. But that's why Canelo vacating the belt. You cannot unify the regular WBA belt, which is another reason it's not a real world champion belt, when there's a super WBA champion. So Canelo's already got in camp for Billy Joe Saunders. I knew exactly when he chose Billy Joe Saunders, but at the end of the day, they December, January, February, March, April. They 6 months out, roughly 5 or 6 months out until they fight in May. So things could change. Now with Canelo, his list, I had his list for quite some time. Billy Joe Saunders was on the short list, Jamal Charlo, Golovkin, and it might have been somebody else. Callum Smith was on the latter end of the short list, the far end. Okay, but after Callum Smith's performance, I heard it was bad. I thought Canelo would change up, but he's going to be fighting Billy Joe Saunders probably in May, and that's why he's dropping that WBA belt. Now, he can take the WBA belt to fight Callum Smith. It's just that if he loses or if he wins, it becomes vacant, I believe. So this is why Canelo is dropping the regular WBA belt. It's because he's about to fight Billy Joe Saunders for a real WBO belt. So, you know, he in camp. I knew the minute he chose, I knew pretty much as soon as he chose Billy Joe Saunders for a fight. I think it was after Billy Joe had that performance on the KSI and Logan undercard where Canelo is the biggest opportunist I've seen in my lifetime in boxing, aka cherry picker. Because when Billy Joe Saunders was boxing circles around David Lemieux and looking like Superman, you know, Canelo didn't want no parts. Eric Gomez said, well, we don't want to fight that style. We fought that style when we fought Erislandy Lara. But all of a sudden, Billy Joe Saunders have a couple pedestrian performances since not having an oxyfrene in his system. And now all of a sudden, they see Billy Joe Saunders on the downslope. This is why Canelo gets no credit. This is why people don't like Canelo. Canelo never want to be the first guy to crack the code. Canelo always want to be the guy that, he old, or I see he on the downslope. I'm gonna take advantage of, you know, me seeing these weaknesses now. And that was the thing. Jamal Charlo was on that short list, as well too. And he said he wanted to see how Jamal Charlo looked versus Dennis Hogan. If Jamal Charlo had another pedestrian performance versus Dennis Hogan, he was gonna fight Jamal Charlo next, because his own want that belt back. And, you know, obviously Billy Joe Saunders showed him first that he works, and then after, Triple G had a tough fight with Derevchenko, now he agreed to fight Triple G in September. So Canelo 2020 is going to be Billy Joe in May and Triple G in September, which everything is always subject to change in the sport of boxing, especially in the PBC universe. Everything is always changing there. But that's what he's going to do. But if Dennis Hogan had beats Jamal Charlo in a week, then it was either going to be Jaime Munguia fighting Dennis Hogan or Canelo was going to fight him. All right, for the WBC. So, and then if it was Jaime and Jaime was able to beat Dennis Hogan in a rematch, again, which some people thought he lost, then it would have been Jaime and Canelo down the line, probably next year instead of Triple G. So, at the end of the day, Canelo's an opportunist. Canelo want to fight guys when he know he can beat them. And his fans want to play dumb, like he King Canelo or he good, man. Look here, man. Y'all can say, well, Floyd actually earned it, man. Floyd fought, all these tough, journeymen. Then he fought all the tough contenders. He couldn't get Morales, Barrera, Casazu. These dudes ducked Floyd. Floyd only done to boxing what boxing done to him. Floyd didn't turn the other cheek. Canelo ain't had a hard day in boxing in his fucking life, all right? He didn't have, when Floyd fought that in Puerto Rican, his 140-pound debut, nobody showed up in press row to cover the fight. I think it was in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And, people don't remember when Floyd was struggling and couldn't get Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley was ducking him. Like, who the fuck ever ducked Canelo? Nobody. Nobody ever ducked the Canelo fade that ever mattered. He was handed his first title versus Matthew Haddon at the catchweight. Didn't even get the stoppage there. He fought Austin Trout, good shit, but then they had open scoring, which had an effect on the fight. He fought Lar because Lar disrespected him. Obviously, he fought Floyd, and everybody said he was going to beat Floyd. And after the fight, the tune changed. You had Doug Fisher and Stevie Kim saying that Canelo was a young man's game, was going to dominate Floyd. Then all of a sudden, after the fight, Canelo was too young and all this. Canelo ain't had a hard day in the sport, all right, at all. He ain't had a hard day. He ain't had to earn nothing. It's like a birthright because he's Mexican. He had orange hair. People liked him. He had a following, so he didn't have to go through the process. This is why he'd never get respect. He don't have a classic fight out there, all right? He didn't have a hard day in boxing, and he gets to, bully people in negotiations because he's Mexican. That's it. He get to bully people in negotiations because he's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never had to earn shit out. At least Chavez had to fight like 40 or 30 cab drivers, in Tijuana in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Canelo didn't even really have to, had a hard day, man. It's disgusting. His fans act like, Canelo's the king, but his fights don't sell out. He bowing down to UFC and Masvidal and Nate Diaz fight. So I'm not interested in him fighting Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? I peep it out, but I'm really not interested in it because Billy Joe Saunders without the oxyfrene in his ass ain't shit. And we all know it. So they can go on and on about, Canelo, he actually beat Billy Joe. Billy Joe wasn't nothing. Billy Joe highlight was beating David Lemieux. Marco Antonio Rubio stopped David Lemieux. Let's not forget that. That was it. He had a little fight versus Chris Eubanks Jr. Eubanks wasn't that good and still probably ain't that good right now. All right? He had a nasty fight with Willie Monroe. And then he got to finesse his way out of the white Mike Tyson fight because that dude got hit with the Rico. All right? So, it is what it is. People gonna give Canelo credit. It's all hollow. It's hollow. His whole career is hollow. You know what I'm saying? Until he take a real risk, it's hollow. Like, he ain't no Hall of Famer in my book. Some people might say he a Hall of Famer based on his credentials, but he too fake. Paying people to take dives, robbing people on the scorecards, the computer all in his ass. You can look past the computer raw, man. If the dude actually went on and fought dudes when they was young and took chances and risks to stop ducking Charlo and Boo Boo and guys like that, you can respect it, but he too much of a cherry picker and an opportunist, dude. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing videos. Want to make a donation? That link's in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. I'll link the source in the description. Let me know what you guys think about Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders in this story we're talking about. Appreciate the love. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfellas.